Whether you're married or single or poly or ace, or hanging out with swingers back at your place, listen to us as we give no fuck on Tinder and Bumble and plenty of yucks, trying and having no luck, because we all know dating kinda sucks. Sarah and Adam are two of a kind. He says stupid shit and she doesn't mind. They're not doing this show to make any buck. Life as a chicken whose feathers he plucks. Why does it work? Well, here is the crux. They both know dating kinda sucks. Dating kinda sucks.
Hi, I'm Adam Heath Avitable.
And I'm Sarah.
This is Dating Kinda Sucks, a podcast about dating, sex, and relationships. This week, we'll be talking about the art of flirting and how not to be a creep. Enjoy the show.
And if you guys are watching right now on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future episodes on YouTube.
Welcome to another episode of Dating Kinda Sucks. It's a little late, and that's entirely
Don't
Sarah's
say
fault.
it's my. I was gonna say, don't you dare say it's my fault. I guess
Sarah was too sleepy on our normal day to record.
That's straight bullshit. I just got mad because my internet wasn't working.
No, the day before you were too sleepy.
Oh, well.
So we pushed it off to 6 in the morning, and then nothing was working.
It's not like you've never been like, I don't want to record an episode.
Oh, no, I was fine with doing it too, but I did wake up early and then was just like nothing. I went back to bed, so that was good. But here we are, and we made it through the first 2 months of 2021, and it's still a terrible year.
It could get better. The weather's getting better. I can't complain about that, at least.
We survived Valentine's Day, so how was your Valentine's Day?
Oh, which feels so long ago, but
but it really wasn't. Like, it's amazing.
I know, it was like 2 weeks ago. Well, like every other holiday from 2020 to now has been somewhat fucked up in some way, shape, or form, because we had a giant snowstorm that came through Nashville on, I want to say,
you were going to like a private, like an Airbnb around. You were doing like a staycation, right? Wasn't that Valentine's Day?
Yeah, well, I took off work that Friday, I think it was Friday the 12th. Oh. And so I took off work for that day. So we spent that day in the Airbnb, and like we enjoyed our time there and got groceries, and we were prepared to spend the next couple of days at the Airbnb. And then around Sunday afternoon, we started checking the weather and realizing it could be kind of shitty, and these are some side roads that we're staying down. So if they can't plow, these aren't made roads, so they're not going to plow these roads. And if it ices over, it's going to be pretty dangerous. And then on top of that, we were in a separate building from the main house where his friend lives. So he's like, well, if we lose power, then we're going to be out of heat, and that's going to be bad. So maybe we're better off staying at your apartment instead. So the day before Valentine's Day, we kind of hightailed it back to my place and we spent literally a day in the Airbnb, and it kind of was what it was. I was better safe than sorry, because I know other people that were stuck where they were because the roads were really bad. So, I mean, we played it safe.
That would have just been a fun adventure.
I mean, I just didn't want to. We didn't have enough food. The Airbnb didn't have a full kitchen, so we were just kind of in the situation where, what do we do?
True.
So we just decided the safer option. So he stayed at my place from Saturday night until Wednesday, because the snow kind of like let up on Wednesday. So I was working from home, and he was just hanging out, and yeah, not like the most romantic Valentine's Day, but then again, it's just another fucking day.
True. It is a commercial holiday that you shouldn't really worry too much about.
Yeah. So, I mean, we enjoyed our time together, and we went sledding the day after it snowed, and it was all fine. But actually,
sledding, that's fun.
Yeah. Actually, though, related to Valentine's Day, I actually had a question for you, because he said something the other day that kind of surprised me, and I didn't realize some people actually do this. So for Valentine's Day, I wrote a like heartfelt card, or I wrote like a letter in this nice little card and gave it to him on Valentine's Day. And I brought a bottle of wine or whatever. And he, for the past couple weeks after Valentine's Day, he's been leaving the card at my place. And, I wrote like on both sides inside the card of like whatever. And I was like, aren't you going to take this card with you home? And he was like, I mean, I could, but it's just going to end up in my trash. And I was like, wait, you don't keep any of the greeting cards that you get? You just throw them away? I was like, you threw away the awesome birthday card I got you too? He was like, yeah, I mean, I just throw it away. So I was kind of disappointed to hear that. And I was talking to my friend about it, and she was like, I mean, I hold on to some cards, but I didn't know. Do you just throw cards away too?
I hold on to the ones that are from like people that are important to me. Like if they have messages, that's really the big thing. So like a nice card like that with a nice written message, yeah. Because
That's what
I've
I was
gotten gifts
telling
from
him.
people, and I've kept the cards that they sent, like that with it or whatever notes they wrote with what they gave me. Yeah, because it's a nice little thing, and maybe eventually I'll throw it away, but
Like in
I
10 years,
well, it's funny because I actually, well, I remember I was dating somebody who was working for me, and part of what she did was she was helping me organize the entire house, and she found this box of all these old notes that Amy and I would pass back and forth when we were in law school, like these like goofy little notes like where can we go out to dinner tonight, and I would like have like little options for her to choose, like and just like little stupid shit. And I kept all the notes. I kept all of them because they were just, they were between us, and so she would write back, and so we'd have these big long sheet of all our stuff throughout class. And she was like, don't you think it might be time to throw these away? And I was like, okay, maybe you're right, but I still had stuff from I mean, literally from my ex-wife, and that was a while ago. So I don't think it's a big deal to keep some of those things. Now, most Christmas cards and birthday cards I get go right in the trash.
well, when people just
Like,
sign love, blah, blah,
oh yeah,
blah.
yeah.
But
If
if
you're not
you
going to put any
write,
fucking effort into it, then don't bother
yeah,
even sending a card. But
right.
yeah,
But if you take the time to write like a paragraph or
yeah.
something like that in a card, more than just love your name or
I mean, this
whatever.
might be a little controversial, but. Hmm. Never mind. I'm not going to say that. Anyways, but
Wait,
I, I,
what?
I do think no. I realize it's not something I can say. But it involves a private conversation that we haven't said on air, so we'll have to just
Oh
all just.
God.
And I know I'm not going to edit it out of the video either, so I might as well just not say it. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
But I do think that it's one of those things that, yeah, if your girlfriend that you love gives you something, it's not really that bad to keep it in a little box or a drawer, like for a while.
I guess he just doesn't keep anything in general.
Right. He doesn't have any mementos or photos or anything that of past things. So like, why would he keep notes from his
Oh,
current girl?
I know where you're getting at this. Okay.
So yeah.
Well, fuck. YouTube will get this, but the
Yeah,
podcast will.
YouTube will get this,
Fuck.
but I'm sure Sarah
I
will
was
get it.
like,
Edit
damn,
out
just
this entire
call
thing
this
out.
out. I'm just like, I'm not prepared to talk about
Well,
this
I
shit.
wasn't thinking I didn't know we were going there until just now. We had no warning of this.
Okay.
But no, I actually think it would be nice to keep it, just to be like, oh, this is a nice thing that Sarah wrote, because it's a sweet gesture, and sometimes you're not sweet, so it might be nice to remember the sweet times.
True.
But
Well,
yeah, yeah, I don't know. That's definitely something. But I mean, that's just us, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who just throw everything away, or he just knows he'd bring it home, put it on his desk for a week, and then be like, why am I still keeping this, and then toss it away.
yeah. I mean, I have cards from my exes like you have with your
Yeah.
ex-wife that I thought it was a cute card that my ex designed, and I still have it. It's somewhere in one of these boxes in my closet, and it's not like I look at it and I'm like, oh, but I for some reason just never
Yeah,
toss.
well, sometimes it's nice because it's a nice memory. Like later on, just be like, "Oh, this was a sweet thing that somebody did." And
Right.
I don't know, but maybe if you're not a person who really goes down memory lane at all, then maybe it's not really quite the big deal. I don't know,
Eh,
but
Yeah.
yeah.
But that besides, Valentine's Day and the card, that's pretty much it. He
And I have Coke
lists
cans on my desk that are from a year ago. So who am I to say?
that's also true, and you should clean that shit up. So yeah, if you're not gonna clean up your Coke cans, I don't see why you would throw any cards away anyways, but whatever. Speaking about love notes, let's follow up on Lil BLT.
Oh, no, we were still talking about your Valentine's Day.
Why
We?
am
We
I
were
still
still
talking
talking.
about me? There's nothing else exciting to talk about,
Well,
really.
I'm really going to talk about what the agenda literally says, which is Valentine's Day card and farting.
Farting, yes.
That's what you wrote. That's what you specifically wrote on the
Well,
agenda.
these
So I
are just
figured we
notes for
should.
myself. I don't expect you to always call out literally every fucking thing I put on here, but okay. I was just gonna skip it.
Oh well, no, I think this is an entertaining story.
Okay. Well, after he listened to last episode of me feeling like my IBS problems and never
Right.
being able to take a shit and blah blah blah. He comes over and he's like, "Just shit on me, babe. Just shit on me. It's okay. I find it so hot." And I mean, I could
Well, didn't
not
you start
laugh.
by saying just fart on me, and then he said, "Was
I
that how
I
it started?"
can't remember. I'm sure
Okay.
farting was part of what he said, but then he like farted on me. He's like, "Just fart on me. It's fine." So I was like trying to fart on it. It was just now we're
I
at that level in our
I
relationship now, I
wish
guess.
I wish I had I wish there was a camera watching like that. That just sounds fucking hilarious. Like I feel like you two should have your own reality show sometimes.
Sometimes the
Just
shit he says, I'm like, I cannot even believe that came out of your mouth, and
right.
it's so damn funny. But yeah, so he's been every time he stays the night now, he's encouraging me to take a shit. He's like, "Did you do it?" Like, I fucking stop, just fucking stop. But and then he was asking the other
Oh,
day, he's like, "How's this gonna work if we move in together? Like, are you ever gonna shit, or are you just gonna hold it for forever?" And I was like, "Well, if I have my own separate bathroom,
yeah, two bedroom, two
and
bathroom.
then I'll
Yeah,
be
yeah,
fine, I
yeah,
guess. I don't know.
yeah.
We shall see. I mean, I live with siblings growing up, so it's not like it's a problem. I
Right.
can whatever. But yeah, so he's been talking more about that now. So we've reached that point in our relationship.
Welcome to Dating Kind of Sucks, a podcast about dating, sex, relationships, and pooping.
I hate that's what I was like, maybe I should just pass this on the agenda. Shouldn't have even put that on there. But
No, I think it's funny, and I think it is. It's one of those things, as weird as or not weird, as awkward as a topic as it might be to talk about. It's probably pretty resonant with a lot of people. Like, I'm sure there's a
it's
lot of
things
people who are
a
like,
lot of people don't talk about. It's not like I ask my
yeah,
friends, "Hey, so at what point did you start farting around your
right,
significant other?" You know?
yeah. I mean, in how many years was I married? I don't know, but I was with Amy from 2001 to 2010, and no, 1998. Yeah, 98 is when I met her. 98 to 2010, and never once farted in front of her. And yeah,
What?
12 years. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Master of None just like whips his dick out and like puts it on my fucking bathroom counter or
Oh, I did
whips.
that.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that
he just.
absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, never farted. No.
Huh.
It just was just
Did you
not
pee
a
in front of
thing.
her?
Very rarely. I mean, usually if
Really?
I would, yeah. I mean, we had a master bathroom that we shared, but I also had a bathroom part of my near my office because I worked from home. And so some mornings I would just get ready in there because she was getting ready. And but yeah, if I went like into the bathroom, the
Or
door was
after
shut.
sex?
I mean, the few times we had sex,
Oh,
but
okay. Well,
but
I
no,
feel like
as a guy, I wouldn't have to pee after sex. That's not a guy thing usually.
no. I mean,
No, guys don't usually.
probably.
We don't usually want to pee after sex because that's when like it sprays out like in like 14 different directions at once because it's all clogged up and it's just like spraying everywhere. Yeah, that's terrible. But no, I don't. I'm sure I peed in front of her at some point in my life. I'm much more relaxed about that now. But back then, I wouldn't. I don't think I'd even pee in front of her.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
So yeah, so there you go. I think it's
yay.
definitely an issue that resonates with a lot of people. And people have different things. I think people who have been like in the military and things like
They
that,
don't
they don't.
care. Yeah, you mentioned that last
Yeah,
episode
they don't care
too.
at all. They're just like, yeah, they will do whatever. But for a lot of people, it's an issue, and it's something everyone has needs their private time, and that's okay too. It's whatever you communicate to your partner. Just don't hide it. That's what like I mean, I would legitimately like I would say to somebody like, hey, I'm gonna go to the bathroom for a little bit. Here, put some TV on or music. Leave me alone for give me 20 minutes, and I'm like
Right.
going in there, and like and everybody knows what's happening, but it's just like, hey, this is my space. I need my comfort zone, and it's okay to do that too.
Yeah. He's like, we can put on the noise machine and we can put on a fan and I'll just go in the other room and blah blah blah. And
Yeah,
I still said no. No, it's
well, yeah,
not gonna work.
it would help. Like we just talked about,
Anyways,
if you get a TV, that would help because that is one.
right.
It's like a nice distraction to put on a television. I mean, you were just Master Don was just there visiting today before we recorded, and he can't stick around because there's nothing to do at your place.
Yeah. I got dick down and then he left. Yep.
A little fucking run right there before we recorded.
A fucking run. Yeah, my
Fucking run.
favorite.
Yes.
Dick appointments on the fly.
And
Pencil it in.
yeah, I know. And then we don't even know when is this episode gonna be coming out. By the way, this is
Whenever I get
Tuesday,
around to editing
March
it,
2nd. Yeah,
honestly.
whenever Sarah decides to edit it, I'll probably put the video up early just as an extra special treat
Oh
for anybody
God.
who's a YouTube subscriber. So,
Yeah. Well,
well, anyways,
enough about that kind of talk. Let's move
enough
on.
about the dirty talk. Let's move on.
Yes, let's move on to your love life, and anything else that you have to share,
Yes.
which
Yes.
would
I don't
be
have anything
revisiting.
to share.
Wait, but you left us hanging with Lil BLT. We haven't had an
I
update.
did. I did. And after she and I have spoken a little bit, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be holding off and then giving it all, like giving quite a bit of a discussion, I think, after some time has passed, just due to some privacy concerns of hers. So I'm going to hold
Right.
off on discussing it and then discuss it maybe in one like little story about
Is she a
everything.
celebrity we don't know about? I mean,
No,
what's
no,
the
she's just
privacy?
she's in the process of a sticky divorce and is very concerned about just anything kind of reflecting badly on her in any way or reflecting on her in any way. So, in the interest of that, just because I'm also terrible at keeping things actually anonymous and private, so
You'll
that
leave too many breadcrumbs.
yeah, exactly. So we're just not going to talk about it right now. We will get to it, I promise, at some point. But right now, it's going to just stay. It's going to stay private for a little bit longer, and then we'll get to it. So it'll
God,
just delay the
so
gratification.
so
Uh,
boring.
but
Since when does Adam ever hold out on us too?
I know,
You
I
know?
know, I know. Well, because if it was just me, I wouldn't give a shit. Obviously.
Right.
Speaking of which, yeah, the two things that we should talk about. One is that I'm on a dating show,
Oh
which
shit! Yes, you are.
yes,
Fuck.
yes. It's on this channel called Bespoke TV. That's BSPOKE TV. They have a YouTube channel. You can find them on there. And the first episode, it's we have our friends over at the Swipe Fat podcast,
Mhm.
Alex and Nikki, who talk about dating while fat, and they're very funny and very entertaining. And they are doing a dating show called Dating in the Modern Age. And so they asked me to be one of the contestants, quote unquote, one of the bachelors, to go on a virtual date. So the first episode is already up, where I was interviewed by Alex for Nikki, and then there's a second episode which doesn't matter, and then on the third episode,
Because that's other people
because I'm
getting
not on
interviewed
that one,
by.
and on the
Yeah.
third episode, which is coming out this Thursday, the 4th, I will be going on a virtual date with Nikki where we cooked meals. Funny little behind the scenes thing that they probably won't even include in it is that they did not. They're supposed to send me like some type of like home meal, like a Blue Apron type company that was a sponsor,
Right.
but I guess they don't exist in Orlando, or they couldn't get it to me in time in Orlando. So they're like, just cook whatever you want. And then, and I was like, all right. So then she made like some delicious like shrimp tacos or whatever. And I made like pizza rolls wrapped in bacon. And it was
Is
pretty funny.
anyone surprised? No. I mean, it should have just been literally a BLT or
Right, right.
mayonnaise
With
and
the
bacon.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. But it was pretty funny. But here's the funny thing is I really enjoyed doing it. That's my first virtual date.
Was the TV show? No
Yeah,
fucking
I've never
way.
actually done a Zoom date because I don't like them, and that was the first time I'd ever done it because they needed me to, and it wasn't as bad as I thought.
Oh, it wasn't awkward. Okay, but I feel like
No,
that would have had an extra element of awkward knowing that you're being recorded for other people to see too. You
except
know?
that we do this, and I, we talk about shit all the time, and like I don't know, and I'm comfortable being recorded and being like so I never
I
felt the
guess.
slightest bit of awkwardness. Like we got along really well, had a great conversation. It was fun. So, and I don't know if they're gonna do another episode with us like at some point in the future. They said they might. So you can find it on YouTube. Search for Bespoke TV. There's other ways to find it on like your normal TV. Like you have to download a certain app. There's a bunch of apps that have this channel. You have to like murder a goat and then like circle yourself three
Literally, it's
times
kind of hard
in
to find.
Sage and then like chant to Lucifer, and then all of a sudden the channel appears. I don't really know. I could never get it to work, but it is at
YouTube.
least on YouTube, so
Right.
that's good. So that was interesting.
It was something. I did watch that first episode where at least you were on. I didn't watch the second episode.
Yeah, I
It's
mean
not
it's
it's
not how
not
I would do it, but
yeah. It's
you know,
not The Bachelor, but
no.
Adam's on it. So
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
watch.
and I had fun doing it, and they didn't make me out to be a complete tool, so I can't argue too much with it.
Only slightly tool. Well, not
Slightly, in
slightly
weird ways.
because you like New Zealand, you're automatically a Lord of the Rings fan, I think is what
Yeah,
you said.
that was weird. The producer was like doing a voiceover that sometimes was a little weirdly snarky, but for no reason. And yeah, something about me loving the idea of New Zealand means that I love Lord of the Rings. Which, of course, if anybody asks me, I fucking hate Lord of the Rings. I think they were the worst movies ever made, and Peter Jackson should just die. But that's
What?
just
Oh,
me.
okay.
Yeah, I know.
You feel
So
the
I
type of
feel
way.
very strongly about that. So then hearing somebody like, "Oh, tell us that you love Lord of the Rings," without telling us you love Lord of the Rings, I was annoyed at that. I was
I
so
know
annoyed
you
that I commented on their YouTube on the YouTube video about it. So that's how frustrated I was about that one.
were.
But so that's the only other thing is I went downtown and I almost got in a fight with Joey Fatone. I thought that'd be a funny thing to
Wait,
talk about.
recently? This is recent.
Yeah, I think it was. I feel like it was before our last episode, but I didn't talk about it. I don't think. Yeah.
I don't even know. I thought when you mentioned like Joey Fatone, I thought this was an old story,
No,
not
no,
something
this
that
is
happened
recent. This is
recent.
recent. No, no, no.
What?
I went downtown and first I went with um, Razzie, who lives with me. She's in our Facebook group. Her boyfriend is a bartender down at a gay bar close to downtown. So I went with her to go get drinks with him. He makes very strong drinks for us and charges us very little for them. So we drank there for a while. Then she's like, "I'm going home," and I'm like, "I'm already out," which is usually my thing. Like, why would I want to go home? So we'd been out there since only like 6:30 at night. So it hasn't like we like it was starting early, and so then she dropped me off downtown. I just wandered around downtown and started drinking. And I was there until, well, around 2, I went to Stagger Inn, which is the.
Isn't that the bar that you threw a glass?
Yes, that is the bar where I gently psychically placed a glass in front of the guy, but in reality, I threw the glass at him. Yes, that is the guy.
And
That
they
is the
still
bar.
let you back in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, yeah, I'm good friends with the owner, and he knew that I didn't mean it. And but that's always my stopping point when I'm already too drunk to keep drinking.
Is
So I
stagger
remember.
in.
Yeah, exactly. I stagger in there, and I ordered a drink, and I didn't get charged for it, which is weird, and because it was after 2, I think it was like 2:15 when I walked in the door. They still hadn't shut the doors, and there's like 30 people in there, and nobody's wearing masks. So I'm sitting in the back corner, but Joey Fatone is there with a bunch of people, and then so is this local douchebag Mike Busey, who is Gary Busey's nephew. He has this place called the Sausage Castle, and you can Google it and you can read all about
I was
them.
gonna say
But
now I need to search local Orlando douchebag to figure out who this guy is.
so I'm drunk and I'm watching like Joey is talking to this girl, and then Mike seems to be getting upset about this, and I'm like, oh, this is hilarious. So I set my phone up and I'm just recording it. And I found out a week later that the owner of the bar says, "Yeah, Adam, we were watching on surveillance. You were so creepy. You were so drunk, and you were sitting there slumped over your table with your phone, just recording these guys." I know.
Oh my
I was
god.
so fucked up.
You should
And
not go back to that bar. That's
oh
just
god, I know
stop it.
it's always ends up being a bad time there. And so Joey looks over and sees me and comes over and goes, "Hey man, you have your flash on, right?" So I
No,
was
oh
recording
my
them
god, you
with
fucking
my
goober.
fucking
What the
flash
fuck?
on bright. And I was like, well, at least it means I can see you better. And I just kept recording. And so then he put his hand out, he like pushed my phone down. And I think that at that moment, had I been feeling particularly rambunctious, I might have gotten in a fight with a member of which one is he in?
Instinct.
In Sync, yeah. But I did not.
I can't believe it.
I instead moved
What?
my phone. I turned the flash off, moved it somewhere else, and just kept recording them. I have like 13 videos on my phone. The next day I checked it, and I had like 13 videos of him like just talking to this girl. And then a fight broke out at the bar, and the bouncer got punched in the face, and everybody got pepper sprayed. It was quite a
You need to
yeah.
stop fucking going there.
No, it was a great night. It was a lot of fun, but
Oh my god.
yeah, it was quite funny. So that was
He wouldn't have punched you. He would have nothing would have happened if you would have been a little more sober.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think we're about the same height, and I don't know that we're about the same age, so I don't know what he would have done. He was drunk too, so it could have been funny. That would have been funny. I wish I should have gotten in a fight with him. That just would have been a better story if I'd actually legitimately gotten in a fight with Joey Fatone.
Yeah. But I'm
Yeah,
glad you didn't, because that would have
I
ended up on some fucking TMZ
I
article.
know. Look at that.
Ugh.
I would have been like, my name's Adam Heath Avitable, and I'm the host of Dating Kind of Sucks, and so just
I love just drop it in there. Shameless plug every time you can.
Exactly. Joey Fatone punched me, the host of Dating Kinda Sucks, a podcast. Like, I can see myself doing that. Absolutely.
I mean, that's what you did on the reality TV show too.
I
So
did.
they
I
can
I
cut you
said
out.
I said Dating Kinda Sucks like so many times. They're like, at least one of these times they're gonna have to include it. I know they can't edit me saying that, edit me out every time. I mean, because it's gonna be, might as well get some publicity for our podcast.
Right.
Because we've had a lot of people on TikTok. My TikTok listeners, thank you for joining the podcast and listening. I've seen a lot of people move from TikTok to actually subscribing, which is fantastic. We've actually had a lot of supporters on our Patreon too, which is really nice. And I wanted to, we said a long time ago that we were going to thank,
Yeah.
we were going to thank our sponsors, right?
Yeah, we mentioned that when you sign up on Patreon and become a member, you get a call out on the show. Well, if you've been listening for the past
Yeah.
couple of years now, we have failed to do that. So
Have we mentioned that
now
we're
is the
garbage human
time.
beings? Because I think that everybody should know that by now, but we're getting around to it. It's one of those things. We have a list of names of people who have supported us and maybe are no longer, but did for some time and are still either are still or are not. And I want to thank we're going to thank everybody, because for $5 a month you can support us. You can pay more, obviously, but it helps us with everything that, I mean, the costs involved and just the basic maintenance of the domain name and the audio hosting and all that stuff, much less everything else we want to try to do with this. So I could read the names, or Sarah, do you want to try
Yeah,
to
go
read the
ahead and
names?
read the names. You know how I'm terrible at reading from the screen all the way back here. So
I
go ahead.
It's good that you don't have like a news show, because I just can't see you doing a teleprompter type thing. I don't know.
I've done those teleprompter TikToks
Yeah.
pretty well, but I don't know. With this, my eyes just get strained and I can't pronounce shit. So go for it.
All right. Well, I would like to thank Joy Hudson, Scott Beaton, Rebecca Mosley, Becky Searles, Stephanie Franklin, Steve T, Don Griffin, Joe, Stacy Gibson, Manny Scherer, Tracy Sykes, Mark Trickey, and Sarah. And also, I didn't write this on there, but Renee. I'd like to thank all of you for supporting us. And if we forgot your name because it was a while ago since you since you sponsored us, and then you haven't, and we didn't see your name on the list, well, let me know. But all of you have helped us and helped just support the podcast, and we appreciate you. Another great way that you could support us, and this is just because part of TikTok also means that we get trolls, more trolls than usual, I think is what it is. We've been
Oh
getting
God.
the occasional 1-star review on iTunes for people who hate me or hate Sarah. Usually they don't hate both of us. They usually hate one or the other.
That is
And
very true if you go and look. It's
it's
like
usually,
Sarah's cool, but Adam fucking sucks. Adam's fine, but Sarah, what a whore.
yeah, basically. So if you are listening and you have an iPhone or you have a MacBook, you can go to Dating Kinda Sucks on iTunes or Apple Podcast, the podcast app. And if you would leave us a 5-star rating and review, that is a great way to support us for free. And it actually makes a huge difference. The more reviews we get, the better that Apple pushes us. And it also kind of pushes those weird troll reviews down to the bottom as well. And if you're a troll listener, if you're a listener who wrote a troll review, why are you still listening, dude? Go fuck off.
And with that, continue fucking off. Fuck all the way off until the second half of the show.
Fuck all the way off and eat Sarah's whole ass. That's basically.
Absolutely, please.
Yes. I think with that, it might actually be a good spot to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about flirting.
Yep. The art of flirting.
Oh, you said that so flirtatiously.
I always do the little shoulder move too.
Okay, ready? Here we go. We'll be back. After this, we'll talk about how to flirt. So we did a poll in our Facebook group to try to find out what people wanted to hear about. And one thing that came up in different type of iterations was flirting, and how to flirt, how to talk to, well, for men, how to talk to women without being creepy, how to approach people that you're interested in, etc. So all these things kind of related to being flirty. So that's why we decided to choose this. Thought it'd be a good time to talk about the world of being flirty without all that stupid pickup artist bullshit, or all those Cosmo articles, and like just the really bad advice. And so like, let's start with Sarah. Do you think you're a good flirt? Like,
let's just cut to the chase. Sarah, can you flirt?
Can you flirt? Because
you might get dick appointments, but can you flirt? No.
Yes. I don't see. I feel like flirting has a lot of subtlety, and I don't see the subtlety.
You don't think I'm subtle?
No, no, I can't.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
well,
You just seem like a
I'm
subtle
a
type.
very awkward person in general with pursuing what I want, especially in a sexual nature, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't. I'm just friendly and fucking nice. Like I'm
I'm
not.
just friendly and
I
fucking
just
nice.
I'm fucking nice. I mean, I'm not trying this big fucking move when I flirt. I mean, if I see a hot guy at a bar and I want to, I don't know, see how things could go, or I see
Right.
potential there, and we've kind of had gestures back and forth across the room, I might play into that. Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm
Why?
just
'Cause I said
thinking
the word
gestures. Just
gestures.
like I'm thinking like those guys from like
Like charades across the room. Do you want to fuck
yeah.
me?
I was thinking about the Silent Live skit where they're like the two guys that would "What Is Love" and they would dance with their heads and then they would be at the club and be like, and they would just do the gestures back and
Just
forth.
like,
Yeah.
no, I mean, you kind of lock eyes for a second, you notice each other's existence in the bar, and then you kind of go back to what you're doing with your group of friends, and then you might go up to get a drink. I think back to this one bar in Nashville where I've actually done this with a group of friends, and I went up to the bar, and while I was waiting for my drink, I kind of mentioned something to him, and we had a short little conversation, and then I just went back to my friends, and it wasn't anything major, but it was flirting.
Yeah. Okay.
I wasn't like super interested in him, but I was like, I mean, he's kind of cute. Let's see what happens. And he was with another friend and whatever, and nothing came of it. And then there's
Sure.
been
Sure.
other times where I've blacked out at a bar and thought I was great at flirting. I mean, I don't know. It's just being myself. I'm not overly trying to flirt when I go out anyways. I'm just doing my thing.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
like let's turn on the flirt machine now and see what's up. I mean, that doesn't happen. Obviously, nothing that I just said sounds sexy either, so there's that. The
Do you
flirt
think
machine.
Do you think it's easier for for women to flirt than it is for men?
Yes.
Yeah,
Because I think it's easier for a guy to come across creepy versus a girl.
that's true. That's true.
But
I
then
used to.
again, I've only experienced creepy guys coming up to me, and I've never heard a guy say, "Ooh, I don't want this woman approaching me."
Yeah, yeah. That's true.
The
Although I'm
flirt
sure,
to
it
that
happens.
from a guy is a lot lower than, "Ooh, I don't want that guy coming up to me."
Yeah, yeah. I think women probably do have it easier just to approach men because literally all you have to do is just sometimes smile at a guy and also to be swarming in men. Like if you want to pick somebody up, there was a something I saw TikTok, a meme, something where it was like there was a woman who was like, I've been having such a hard time getting laid or having, finding anybody who wants to have sex with me right now or something like that during this pandemic. And then it like cut to a guy who was just go outside or something like that. And then,
True. So fucking true. Just
that's
breathe
all,
air and see other people around you, and there you have it.
that's all you need when you're a woman sometimes. And I'm sure that's not always true, but we've always joked with you about the fact that when you were complaining about the fact you weren't getting like laid, and I was like, well, that's because you're
Just
choosing
go
not to get
outside.
laid. Yeah, like you were doing that to yourself. You were
Well, I
choosing not to
wanted to
get laid.
fuck guys that were actually of value. There's a
Right.
difference. There's
Yes,
a
yes.
difference. Yes, I can fuck a bunch of fucking Joes all day long,
Well,
which
yeah.
I have fucked a Joe, but that's what's now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh shit, I fucked a Joe.
Yeah, you
Anyway,
did.
I can fuck an average Joe, whatever.
Yes,
Or
yes.
I could just wait for a nice guy an actual guy with redeeming qualities. I shouldn't say nice guy because then that puts the nice guy
Yes, yeah,
thing
nice
us.
guy. Yeah, yes. I
No.
don't think I'm just trying to think if I know any good Joes, and
No, I know. I should have known better. That
I
was
mean
the guy that
they're
I
all
fucked in
average,
Vegas.
just like average
Joe.
Joes. Yeah.
Fucking Joe. Not even a last name. Just I was told to never fuck guys with only 3 letters in their name. And I've fucked 2 guys with only 3 letters in their name. So there's that. But sidebar.
That's an
Anyway.
interesting one. Well, let's I guess we'll get into flirting a little bit.
Wait,
I
wait, wait, wait. You
yes.
asked me, do you think you're a good flirter, Adam? Do you turn on the flirt machine? Do you have,
No.
you know,
I don't really flirt. I'm very good at talking to people, talking to strangers, but when it comes like it's never really flirting, I don't think.
it's just you being you.
It's just me being me because I'm not trying to be anything other than me. I do know how to talk to people, so that I am usually pretty capable. If I wanted to get someone's phone number, it's not difficult, because I usually just am able to connect with people. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have. That's why I wanted to avoid like the whole like pickup artistry shit, because it's not really about that. Flirting is sometimes just about being maybe your more entertaining version of yourself. You're like when you turn like flip a switch on, and you're a little more on than you usually are, type of view is maybe what flirting is.
That's
But
true. Yeah, you're just more aware of certain situations. When you're not looking for anybody and you're not wanting to flirt or just aware of anything, you're just, nah, whatever. There's a person
yep,
over there, whatever. But when you're like, I'm kind of going, and I say this in air quotes, out on the prowl tonight, you might be a little bit more aware of the people around you and your overall surroundings to go, that's a good group to talk to just try to make nice with, or that I should stay away from that group because,
well, I
whatever.
think if you're ever someone who ever like goes out on the prowl, then that might be part of the problem too. Like
True.
it's
I mean, you shouldn't
yeah.
you
Well,
shouldn't go out with the intention
right.
to go out on the prowl, but like when you get to a bar and it has a good vibe of like, okay, well, I'm gonna just mingle a little bit more with people because this is a good environment that I'm in right now.
Right. But like when you go to like out downtown, you see like those 8 guys that are all walking in a diamond shape that all have the pop collars and the striped shirts on,
Oh, yeah,
and you're like, and you're like, oh, they're on the prowl. Like that's
Brad, Chad, and Thad are ready to fuck some girl named Brittany.
that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that was it really is always funny that they have there's a lot of videos of TikTok where people are like, would I tase these guys? It's usually like this group of guys that all dress the same, that think that they're all like hot shit, like
The
walking
hottest
one past
motherfuckers.
the other, and like it's great, because those are guys that are on the prowl, and those are the guys you should avoid, because they don't know how to flirt. They're not trying to flirt, they're just trying to fuck too. That's the other big thing.
Yeah.
I found that my best flirting is when I'm really just kind of being sarcastic and dark. Like, like
Does that turn people on?
when you're with someone else and you're getting like, it's like you're sharing the sense of humor, like the two of you together. Like for example, like I met some friends. Now this is a few years ago. At I met a bunch of friends, went to the Renaissance Fair because they wanted to go, and I was like,
Okay.
okay, this is not really my thing, but I'll go. And one of them brought along her sister, and her sister was really cute, and like the whole time I'm sitting back with her sister, and she and I are walking like kind of in the back, and I'm like we're just tearing, we're roasting everything that's happening, and like the first time I said something, she kind of laughed, and then like we just went into it together, and I was like, oh, this is somebody that I'm clicking with. Like this is
Right.
us, we're flirting with each other right here. Like this is flirtation, because we're like, we ended up spending the entire day together, and just like went off and got food at one point, just because like we were on the same vibe. We were vibing at the same level, and it wasn't either of us forcing it. We were both just kind of in that same mental space, and that's when I feel like it's the most natural. You're not for you're both being who you are.
Flirting is a vibe. I like that though. You get the good vibe with the other person and then it just continues. It's
Yeah,
not a planned premeditated thing of, oh, I want to flirt with this person. You just, if you go up to the bar and you order a drink and someone attractive is standing next to you, if you kind of have a good vibe with them and you say one thing and they exchange another and it continues to be a good vibe, then yeah, that could be flirting.
absolutely.
But
I
it's
think
not, I stared into their eyes for 2 seconds and they looked back at me and then we were flirting. That's not flirting. That's just kind of being creepy.
that is being creepy. Yes, that's absolutely, yeah. I know that I told this before. It was probably a year and a half ago, whatever, when I helped this guy at Ale House with his Bumble profile. And we were both sitting there just having drinks, and he's a little older, and I helped him with his profile. And we are both like, he bought me around of shots, and we're doing shots, and it was getting later, and we're both pretty drunk. And then he's like, "Oh, look at those two girls over there." And there were two girls just sitting across the bar by themselves, just having a beer. And I was like, he goes, "I should go talk to them." I was like, "No, you shouldn't." Like, he goes, but I want to go flirt with them. And I was like, no, let's leave them alone. Like, let's just they're here by themselves with each other.
Mm.
They're not here for anybody else. Like, you can tell just by the fact that they're looking at each other and talking to each other. They're not scoping out the bar,
Right. They're
And
not kind of entering your personal space in a way to get a drink or anything like that. They're just
yeah,
set on where their own place is.
and just because a woman or women are at a bar doesn't mean they're there for you. They are there. They could be there for themselves. And I looked down at my phone for a second, and I looked back up, and he's already over there talking to them. and he's got his arm around the small of the back of one of the girls, and I was like, oh god.
This is all what not to do,
Yes,
honestly.
oh yes, which don't do that either. So I went over there. I slowly, I was like, I guess I have to go rescue them. So I went over there and I extracted his hand from her back a little forcefully. I kind of just grabbed his hand and squeezed a little bit. And he's like, hey. And I was like, hey, don't touch somebody unless they want you to touch them. And and he was like, oh, shoot, I was just being nice, whatever. And then he was like, so then he kept talking to her. And so then I talked to her friend and we kind of chatted. And then the funny thing is her friend and I became really good friends. She and I would go out dancing all the time. She just moved back to Oklahoma actually, but for like almost 2 years, she was one of my drinking buddies. Like we'll go out drinking, would go out and have a good time. And even though like we weren't flirting, we actually got along really well. We exchanged info by the end of the night, and then started going out and spent a lot of time together. And it was nice, but I actually I flirted into a platonic friendship that way, which is a weird thing to say, but that's kind of what it turned into, just from chatting with somebody. But he did the absolute wrong thing, and
let's just walk through all of the things that he did wrong. So we already mentioned they're together as friends in an intimate conversation. They're closed off from the rest of the bar. So already just looking at them, they don't want to be approached. So check your surroundings. If the people aren't looking like they want to be approached, don't fucking approach them. Then not only did he approach them, but he I would say inappropriate. I wasn't there.
Oh, no, inappropriate. Absolutely inappropriately. Yes.
Inappropriately and unwantedly touched her in that spot. He just didn't. It was he failed the vibe check, and it wasn't natural.
Yeah.
So there was no vibe going on between them already, and it wasn't a natural thing. And those are two things that have to happen for it to be a positive flirting experience. Like I think he thought that was flirting, but that's just coming off as a creep. That's steps on how to be a creep.
Exactly.
Approach women you see, touch them, give them compliments, expect to get laid. That's how you be a creep.
Invade personal space and and put your beer breath right in their face, basically is what he was doing.
The other one, did he compliment their appearance? The first thing, I
went this there, but I'm sure he probably did.
That's probably the first. You guys look so beautiful tonight. I love that dress you're wearing. Your hair looks so good. If those are the first things
he probably went up and said, "You're too hot to be here."
Oh god,
that sounds like something he would say. But I constantly fuck with him though, because he brings a lot of dates to the bar, and when I do meet them, he'll always be like, "Oh, this guy has a podcast. It's about dating. I should listen to it." And then
yeah,
I was like, "Yeah, you should."
You tell this date's not going well.
And then his whatever will be like, "Oh, I'm so and so." I was like, "Oh, it's nice to meet you. So you're the Thursday girl or whatever," and. Because he deserves it. He also got in trouble one time with a date because he was like, "Yeah, your co-host. I did listen one time, and she's got a sexy voice. I really like her voice. Where does she live again?" And I was like, "She lives in Nashville." And then his date got all mad. "Who's this fucking girl you're talking about with a sexy?"
What is wrong? What the fuck?
Yeah.
I take the "Hey baby" back. What the fuck?
Oh yeah. Take the "Hey baby" back. Yeah. No, he's.
Yeah. It's another thing. If you're flirting and you're asking what side of town do you live on, my next thought is, are you a fucking serial killer? Why do you want to know where I live?
Yeah.
For Austin. Those are just not. Those aren't lines to you. Those are fucking pickup artist lines. That's not flirting.
I think he just likes to make people he's with jealous too, so that way like they get angry and then it's like I think he thinks that's healthy.
They don't fuck him.
I think they probably still will. I don't know. So that's how not to flirt. Let's maybe go into it now that we have an actual example. And I want to talk to men because this is basically for men and women to listen, and maybe if you have anything to add, you can add as well. But like, guys, if you're somewhere, bar, coffee shop, laundry room, like laundromat, like I don't know, some type of place where you might encounter someone.
Grocery store.
Yeah, someone. Yeah, who just who you might encounter somebody, and you might want to know if you find them interesting or intriguing or attractive or something. There's going to be a bunch of things that are going to be obstacles before you ever go talk to them. Like number one, are they alone? That's a big thing. Are they with their friends? Don't go bother them. Let them be with their friends. Number two, if they are alone, are they sitting there with headphones in? Like any woman who has headphones in does not want to be approached. That is a giant neon sign that is saying "Stay the
Don't
fuck
fuck with
away."
me.
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. That's what that means.
I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah, it's nothing about you, so don't take it personally, which, men get so defensive about those things. Don't take it personally. She doesn't want to talk to anyone. She wants to stay in her little bubble, listen to her true crime podcast about being murdered, and avoid being murdered by you. So,
Literally, fuck.
yeah.
That's like when I'm walking around Nashville and it's always homeless people that'll like kind of walk behind me and they'll say something and they're probably just asking for money, but I'm like, I'm
Right.
ignoring you. Just notice I have my headphones in.
Yes.
Don't fucking ask me anything.
So take that as a sign. And then
Oh,
secondly, they don't have their headphones in and they're not sitting there waiting for somebody, or they're not with their friends and they're alone. Are they reading a book? Are they like do they bring something to keep them occupied? Once again, they don't want to talk to you. Like that's just like a huge sign that's saying stay the fuck away from me. The only thing you could ever say to them is if you've read that book and you don't have some type of weird mansplaining thing about it, but you just wanted to stop and say,
until chapter 7 where,
well, that could be
things
kind of,
good now. If you've
yeah,
actually read the book,
yeah,
that's a pretty good, you think
yeah.
it's
You
good
could be like,
now.
oh,
Wait till
yeah, you could just be like, hey, I love that book. Have you read so and so? That is a good starting point, but only if they actually make eye contact with you and smile at some point. If they are engrossed in their book, or if they are avoiding eye contact with you and everybody else, they don't want anybody to talk to them. That's the body language you should read. And I know it can be hard to pick up on this subtle language. And I know there's a lot of people who are like, I just don't understand subtlety. It's not really that subtle. If they won't make eye contact with you, or if they do and they immediately look away, then they're not interested in you at all.
Yeah, I definitely think body positioning, if you're at a bar and you see someone sitting at a table and their shoulders are and their feet too are turned completely toward the other person that they're with or group of people that they're with, that's another sign like they're closing themselves off. They don't
Yeah.
want to be bothered versus if you notice their shoulders are turned more open or their feet are those are other things. I don't think we really like analyze that when we're at a bar or whatever, but you can really pick up on a
It's
couple other things.
subconscious.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's definitely it's not like you're like, okay, her feet are closed in. I should avoid this one, but you'll pick up on probably not a good call here. Or hunched over at a table reading a book at a restaurant, probably not the person I want to go up to.
Right. If somebody has a book but they keep looking around, then they're bored. And
Well,
maybe they want to talk to somebody. But if they're looking down at their book the whole time, then they're just there to enjoy a meal or a drink and read, and they don't want any social contact with anybody.
well, you have to put yourself in their shoes of,
Right.
if I was out with my friends like this or if I was alone like this, would I want to be approached? If the answer is no, don't fucking approach them. I mean,
Yeah.
it should be that simple.
I will. Yes, then it would be that simple. It'd be nice if men could actually do
It
that.
would
But
be.
men have a really hard time sometimes with that empathy thing of being able to just understand why women approach things differently than they do. It's the whole concept of male privilege. It's like why women, men want to sometimes meet immediately, and women are like, oh, I don't want to meet just yet. I want to get to know you, and guys get upset about that or defensive about it. I
Mhm.
think that another thing to keep in mind is eye contact. Do you make eye contact with this person, whether they're alone or with their friends or whatever? And when you do they keep that eye contact for a second or two? Do they smile? Like you can kind of tell. If they really don't, then just stay the fuck away. They don't
Yeah.
want to talk to you.
You'll
And
know their eyes will
yeah,
dart the other way of, oh shit, I shouldn't have looked at this person.
yes,
That's not a sign to keep going for them or walk up
right,
to them.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so like, and then I would say that, and then one easy step to see if maybe there is any potential, rather than actually talking to them and invading their space, is to send them a drink.
I
And you can
still hate that. I mean,
Well, but if it's someone that you've already made eye contact with, they've kind of smiled and like they kind of just like send them a drink. If they look at it and they kind of laugh with their friends and they drink the drink, they're not interested in you. If they make eye
true.
contact with you and they say thank you, then that opens up the door for them to come over to you if they want to say hi. And that which also means that they're saying, hey, I'm interested in chatting a little bit. If they don't do that, if they don't
Then you wasted
encourage,
$15 and you shouldn't have
yes,
done it anyways.
well, right, and but I mean that's one way to try to do that without having to, like invade somebody's space or their group of friends unwantedly, but only after you've made eye contact. Don't do it before. Do it after, so they actually know which person that they're talking about.
I'm trying to think before COVID hit if that's actually happened to me before. I know I've like stood across a big, where the bar is just like a big rectangle and they're on the other side and I'm on the other side and I kind of lock eyes with someone. But I don't think it's ever been the point of anything past that. We'll just kind of lock eyes. I'm like, oh, he's attractive. And then I go back to my life. It never really turns into anything else. Just because you lock eyes for a couple seconds and smile doesn't mean anything has to happen past that either,
No, that's true. Sometimes flirting is just flirting. That's really, I mean, like that's the extent of it. It's a little, yeah, exactly. Then you go on Craigslist later and you're like, misconnections. Dear girl that I sent the martini to with the red dress.
And then they read that on the radio station and they try to find your girl.
Right. Well, and I have done that at bars before where, I've been kept making eye contact with somebody who's with two friends and I'll just tell the bartender, hey, their next round of drinks is on me. Just let them know. And so all three of them get drinks out of it, and then I just raise my glass and, if they come over and say hi, then they come over and say hi. And,
But that doesn't give you the permission once you purchase their drinks to then get up from where you were fucking sitting and walk over to them.
That is true. Unless they somehow
unless they're like, hey, they give a wave or a nod to suggest that. But I've seen people, like my friends have had experiences where a guy bought them a drink, they weren't interested, and then he was like, cool, you accepted the drink, that means you must want to talk to me. And then they come over and they're like, no, I just wanted the fucking free drink, dude. No,
right,
that's
exactly.
it.
Exactly. So that's why it's a variety of steps, and each one of these things might be a level of flirting. But here's the thing too, and this is the big thing: the ultimate goal of flirting shouldn't be something major. Your ultimate goal of flirting isn't to like try to bang somebody.
Have fun. It's not.
Well, it's to have some, but I mean, like your ultimate goal should be like, oh, I would like to maybe talk to that person more. Like, like out of here, like that, like maybe in the future, talk to that person more. Like that should be the extent of it. You shouldn't be like, oh, I'm taking that girl home tonight.
I'm getting her number.
Yeah, getting her number or social media is like that. That should be the goal of the flirting. Like that should be the most ambitious goal. Is getting her number. It might just be, hey, I come here every Wednesday. Maybe I'll see you next time. Or something. I come here for trivia night.
I would prefer that than a number, because then you hit like other awkward things. Because I'm assuming there's going to be a handful of guys who read the room incorrectly, and then they go in for the number, thinking they heard it on Dating Kind of Sucks. Don't try to bang them. Just go for the number.
Well, if they're reading the room incorrectly, then they're doing it wrong.
I mean, obviously, but I'm just bringing the point home. Don't think, okay, well now my only obstacle is to just get the number. Yes. Or their social media.
Yeah, or social media of some type, and then that way you can communicate with them or something like that. But here are the things that, as men, I want men to understand that are going through a woman's head when you're trying to talk to her at a bar, when you're a stranger. Do you feel creepy? Does she find you at all attractive? Do you seem like you're dangerous? What are the chances that you're maybe married or in a relationship and you're just an asshole? Are you going to stalk her? Are you going to rape her and murder her? How much can she actually trust you? Like, these are all things that she has to weigh in her brain before deciding to engage with you in any way, because she doesn't know what even rejecting you is going to end up in.
It's literally a checklist of, okay, he doesn't seem that creepy. Cool. Okay, he's kind of cute. Okay, digging this. It's literally, in a span of maybe 3 minutes, she's already making those decisions.
Oh, yes. And then she has to react quickly, because if she's somewhere she's not interested, she might give you a fake number because she's scared about you getting, about you getting angry or getting shitty because you're at a bar, and who knows how you're gonna react to being rejected, and women have to be worried about that. So the best thing you can do as a man is, if you do eventually reach the point of getting a number, which don't dive right into it, and just have a conversation with her, like just chat. Because here's the other thing too, is if your whole basis on going up and talking to her is that you think she's hot, that's not a real thing.
What did we just say? You can't go up and say the first thing of, oh, you look good tonight, or I love that. Get the attractiveness out of it. It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
Yes.
And there has to be some type of common interest. Is it the fact that you guys like the same music, that, there has to be something more than that is worth talking about. Because if you just go up to somebody because you think they're hot, then there's no potential there, and she knows that too. That you're just trying
a fucking Tinder match,
right?
Oh,
you're just
trying
so to bang.
Beautiful. Think about it from a Tinder perspective of their first message. So beautiful, heart eye emoji. Where do those conversations normally fucking go? In the trash, because they end up being fucking creepy. So don't do that in real life.
Absolutely. That's it. Yeah, if somebody on Tinder, hey beautiful, hey sexy, that's just an immediate unmatch because that's just a fuckboy just trying to get his dick wet. The same thing happens in real life. If you can go over and talk to somebody and be like, oh, you guys look like you're having fun. What do you do? Blah, blah, blah. And you actually talk and you have some shared interests and you say, hey, I'd love to get to know you better, or maybe chat more. Can I get your number or something? And then she says yes. Then there you go. Then take it from there, and it might end there. You never know. She might say, no, I'm not interested. And the
You say,
only
okay,
thing
well, it was nice talking to you.
exactly.
And then you turn the fuck away and you go home or you walk back to your group that you were with and just accept it and just
Yep.
bow out gracefully and don't be a fucking dickhead.
Yep. And
Be like,
also,
oh, well, you're not that fucking hottie. I just bought you a drink because I wanted to make you feel better because you're so fucking ugly. I mean,
right. And if you're a guy who's listening to that and you would do something like that, well, you're a piece of shit.
You shouldn't go out in public, pretty much is what we're saying. Stay the fuck home.
You deserve to die alone, basically,
Yeah.
if that's react to something like that. And don't, here's another thing that might be a little controversial, but don't try to be friends with her then. Like if you ask her and she says, no, I'm not interested, say okay and walk away. Don't be like, oh, well, let's just be friends. Because
you have
she
an ulterior
knows,
motive.
and you know that all you're trying to do is just to be friendly so that you can get your dick wet in the future. And that's manipulative. And so don't do that either.
It's all the delivery on when she lets you down to say, no, I'm not that interested. And you say, oh, no, I was, well, let's just be friends. You know how they deliver those words if they really just wanted to fuck you or if they were actually being genuine. And
yes,
when they go in for the friends line after they just got rejected, it's typically, well, I can't, I just want to hold on to you for as long as I can because I'll convince you that I'm a good guy. So just give me another chance. And
right.
oh, God. I don't miss
Absolutely.
going out to bars for that reason, though. I will say that much. Shit.
I'm sure.
Ugh.
I'm absolutely sure. And then with all of this, there's a whole group of people who are just naturally flirty people, and it doesn't mean anything. So that's the other thing you have to keep in mind is I've had friends that are just naturally flirty, and at first I might have taken it the wrong way and then realized, oh no, that's just who they are as people. And usually a lot of those people are, bartenders, servers.
Oh, for their servers. Why do you think the restaurant, like the fucking line cooks, always think the servers are
Yeah.
flirting with them? They're just naturally flirty people. That's how they're interacting with their guests. So they're interacting with the kitchen staff like that too. And all the line cooks think the servers want to fuck them. I mean, damn.
Yes.
Sometimes you gotta flirt in a restaurant to get what you want sometimes too, though. It's like, okay, I need that food a little faster, so I'm gonna be nice to fucking Nick on the line.
I feel like this is all coming from personal experience at Tijuana Flats.
Experience, just like, hey, could you bring that food a little faster? And they're like, oh, of course, Sarah.
Wait,
Anything for
which
you.
Nick are we talking about? Are we talking about the Nick that I think we're talking about? You just said Nick, so I'm just.
Oh no, I made sure to not pull an actual real name for that.
Okay.
There is no Nick who is a line cook. No.
Okay, because I know one who started off as a line cook named Nick. He was at Tijuana Flats. He's now a general manager, which is amazing. But anyways, I think that did come from a personal space. I could hear that in the way you described it.
But I'm saying like that's a good experience. So like bartenders and servers, like part of their job is to be quote unquote on because that's part of the service industry business of being friendly and being whatever. And I mean, even me working as a server too, how many fucking customers would come in, older guys thinking that I was flirting with them and they'd become regular customers where, I'd be like, hey, how's it going? Whatever. And I've had, they've left big tips and I'm like, okay, cool. They're super nice and whatever. But then they've crossed the line. Like there's been people who have come in and been super nice and then crossed the line. I was like, yo, what the fuck though? I'd never said, I never got to that point, but you totally misread me in this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And then it really you're just doing your fucking job. And somebody's at work.
All I asked was, I'm thinking Tijuana Flats, if you guys have been there, all I asked is if you wanted to make your burrito wet for $1. Like,
right.
I didn't ask anything else so serious.
Right. Do you want to make your burrito wet for $1? Make me wet for 50.
Do you want a pink? Would you like to make your taco pink for an extra $1 for breast cancer awareness? I mean, these were fucking questions I had to ask people, and some people took it to the extreme, but I digress there.
But it's an important thing to just remember that people who are at their place of work, they're not flirting with you, and stop flirting. Like, don't flirt with them. They're not flirting with you. They really aren't. I promise you. They're just doing their job. Leave them the fuck alone. Tip them well and leave them the fuck alone. And that's the extent of like for men to go about flirting. Now for women to flirt, it's really easy. All you have to do is just smile at somebody and be like, "Hey, I think you're cute," and that's all you have to do. Like it's
Drop your handkerchief. Just go, oop, I
yeah,
dropped my handkerchief. You know, that's how they flirted back in the day.
yeah, that's true. That's true. I think it would
Oh,
work today. If I was walking by somewhere and a girl dropped her handkerchief, I'd pick it up to her and hand it to her. You know, and that would be a good start.
excuse me, ma'am.
But generally, I mean, wouldn't you agree that like for women, if you wanted to really honestly flirt with somebody, like if you were at a bar and just by yourself for some reason, having dinner and you saw somebody that was cute, wouldn't you really you could just like look over at him and just say, "Hey."
Literally just a little hair flip and a shoulder, like just looking over my shoulder, kind of peeking over, and
Yeah.
then I'd go back to doing my own thing, being very coy with it, then sipping my
Right. Right.
drink, kind of just being the cool single. I mean, when I used to travel for work, I would go out to bars by myself, and I'm like, let's see what happens. And I actually like attracted a group of guys the one time I went to Birmingham, and I was just chilling by myself, and these guys invited me over, and I was like, oh, I'm fucking with this. This is fun. But I was just being chill, like just being
Yeah.
super chill and just looking at the vibe of the room, going, okay, I'm kind of fucking with these people over here, and we'll see. If I give them a nod, we'll see if anything comes of it. And sometimes something happens, and other times nothing happens, and it just really
Right. Right.
depends.
And I think making eye contact makes such a big difference. Like, because if like half of a guy's time flirting is trying to make eye contact with a woman that he wants to talk to, and so if a woman actually is like looking around making eye contact with people, that's a positive. Like that's such a good
Hmm.
thing on there on the behalf of the woman. It's very easy. So I think women to flirt. I mean, honestly, all you have to do is just be very.
Just
It's
breathe.
yeah, just breathe. Just that's all it is. All you have to do is have your headphones on and pretend like you don't want to be talked to, and then you'll just have tons of people come up and talk to you. But if you actually want to
I
actively
mean,
flirt,
fuck, really
yeah,
though. I mean,
right,
yeah,
I
if
know.
you look unapproachable, people will fucking come up. That is so true though. Every time I try to look unapproachable, there's always that one person. I'm like, do I look like I want to be fucked with right now?
Yeah,
No. No.
yes, exactly.
I think where people get hung up with flirting though is actually what to say. So you get past all of that shit of locking eyes or whatever the fuck, and now you're kind of talking and you're like, well, what do I say to this person? If you're freaking out about that, I mean, then it's probably not going to go well from the get go. If just don't lean on their fucking looks and just
Right.
talk about something in the room, so and so over there, make a fucking lighthearted joke and then see how that is received. I mean, it's not fucking rocket science, but I think people are so, I don't know, they're overanalyzing every single move when it comes to flirting. So they're like, okay, well, what's the
Yeah.
next calculated move I have to make? And I'm like, it's not calculated at all. It's very chill. You're either
Hmm.
in a good vibe and a receptive vibe to have people come up to you, or you're in a closed off vibe. And I don't know. For me in flirting, it's a vibe.
Yeah.
It's one or two drinks in vibe, but it's a vibe.
Yes, yes. I mean, the social lubrication does help. I mean, it really can help. So having a drink or two does make it easier to flirt. Having too many drinks makes it hard to flirt because you're not speaking English.
True.
Yes, I can only think of the flirting that I've done when been in a staggering at some point. Probably who
I mean,
knows.
you weren't flirting with Joey Fatone?
I mean, I might have been. That might have been my way of flirting is
I
to
was
put
just
him
trying to
on.
get a pic of you, bro.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ.
You could have touched the
Um,
small of his back and been like, "You not into this, Joey?
yeah,
Bye,
yeah.
bye, bye, bitch." I don't know.
I love your music. I love the Backstreet Boys.
That would have been good to say though. Damn, then he would have punched you.
You probably would have punched me at that point. What else do we have to say about flirting?
I mean, I don't know how many other ways I can say it's just a vibe. It's also a self confidence thing too.
100%. That is a very good point.
Instead of it just being a vibe, instead of picking up on, their body language or figuring out the first thing to say, it's just self-confidence of like, I'm fucking hot. I'm I'm confident with who I am, and if nothing
Or I'm
happens,
interesting and I'm someone that someone would enjoy
true.
talking to. It doesn't. You don't have to feel fucking hot sometimes either.
No, but
I
I mean,
rarely think to myself I'm fucking hot. I usually think to myself,
it's
oh,
I don't know. I think
I would benefit. People would benefit from talking to me. I'm fun to talk to, and I'm entertaining, and I have good stories. That's how I tend to look at it.
well, I go from I look like a fucking snack tonight, so you'll be lucky to talk to me. I don't know. Like that's the headspace I have
Yes,
to
I
get in.
know. I
And
know
maybe
it
that's how
is.
you. Yeah, I don't know. That's so.
I don't think I've ever felt like a snack. I know I always feel like eating a snack, but I've never felt like a snack.
Yeah.
So if you have any horror stories about flirting, we would love to hear them. If you have any specific questions maybe about flirting that we haven't touched on, maybe certain scenarios, or if you're a guy who has specific, more questions that I haven't explained on how not to be creepy about it, then we can talk about it. You can email us at datingkindofsuckspodcast@gmail.com, or you can post in our Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/DKS podcast.
You can also watch us on YouTube at youtube.com/dating kind of sucks. The raw
Yes, the
footage
raw
of this
video.
entire
Yes.
podcast is up there. You can also, like we mentioned, our Patreon subscribers. You can also, for as little as $5 a month, become a member on Patreon. That's patreon.com/DKS podcast, and we'll be sure to give you a shout out in the future. Or like Adam mentioned too, with TikTok, we have our own personal TikToks where Adam's giving more dating advice. I'm just talking more about dick sucking, and I get a lot
Yes,
of
she
trolls
is.
on there. You make one TikTok about sucking your boyfriend's dick, and everybody wants to say something about it.
Right.
Or you can follow.
Imagine that.
Oh, imagine that. Yeah, actually, one of our listeners actually commented. She was like, "I'm sorry on your somehow your TikToks have made it to the douchebag side of TikTok." I'm like, "Yeah, seriously, I did not sign up for this shit." Or if you can also follow us on Instagram at Dating Kinda Sucks for recent posts. We're more on TikTok now. We should on TikTok, now we're more on TikTok.
I know we get more active on Instagram too, but we are still there. And check out Bespoke TV. You watch my episode. There'll be 2 episodes. Like I said, the first episode, the third episode will feature yours truly. So let me know what you think about that if you watch it.
It's
And
something.
yes, and we'll be back on time in 2 weeks with our next episode.
Pop off my dick.
But thank you for listening, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Until next time.
Whether you're married or single or poly or ace, or hanging out with swingers back at your place, listen to us as we get no luck on Tinder and Bumble and plenty of yucks, trying and having no luck, because we all know dating kinda sucks. Sarah and Adam are 2 of a kind. He says stupid shit and she doesn't mind. They're not doing this show to make any buck. Life as a chicken whose feathers he plucks. Why does it work? Well, here is the crux. They both know dating kinda sucks. Dating kinda sucks.